Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Card Talk, a podcast where we spend a little bit of time talking about cards from Lord of the Rings, the card game. I'm your host, Dave Walsh, and here, Grant isn't joining me. He's not along for this ride, because I'm going to be doing a playthrough. So this is going to be a little bit more than a little bit of time, but I'll be able to discuss the cards and the scenario and things like that as I'm going through this. Now, this is the first scenario from the Khazad-dûm box. The scenario is called Into the Pit, and apparently we have been sent to the mines of Moria in order to do some scouting and deliver a message to Balin. Remember, one of the things that happened in the lore of the game is after the company took back Erebor, the Lonely Mountain, Balin, Ori, and Owen, is that, I think, three of the dwarves. Balin was one of them, went back to Moria to see what was going on. And so we are trying to explore Moria. We're trying to get a message to Balin. I bet you at some point in this box we're going to see a Balrog. Actually, I know it because I've played all these quests before. So it's just been a while since I played them. So, but I'm going to still try to do this true to the setup and try to figure out and try to do this as if I haven't played it before. Reading the cards and making sure people can follow along. I noticed the community lately there's been a renewed interest in Khazad-dûm, the Khazad-dûm cycle. It's been out of print for a long time, and so now it's back in print, and so people are trying it out. So feel free to always leave comments, and don't forget that Card Talk has a Patreon. If you like what we do, support us by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/cardtalk2018. All the money that we get goes right back in the community for contests and prizes and swag. So help us out if you can. So let's get going with Into the Pit. Before you do anything with setup, I pulled out the cards that I needed to because I shuffled the encounter deck. But before you do anything with setup, you always draw your hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I did shuffle my hand before I started. Save a little bit of time. So let's see what we get. We get Galion, Sylvan Tracker, Steward of Gondor, Quicker Than Sight, the Nath Guide, and Faint Voices. Okay, so I'm going to keep that because I like seeing the Steward of Gondor. Okay, the Steward of Gondor resource acceleration works out really well, and so I'm going to keep this hand, and so that means right over here you'll see cards in my hand, and then my threat and the round. I'll keep track of that just so I can keep score at the end. I don't keep score, but I know that some people do, so that's good. And then, as always, I have my rules adjudicator here. This is Albert Einstein. He helps me in post-production and makes the rules. This is my round counter. Now, it's hard to see, but it's here. And I'm horrible at keeping track of rounds. That's why I also keep it over here. And then I have my mini threat counter here from the latest. I guess this is from the collector's edition. They had the mini counters. So I have some old counters, threat counters, some old counters, some new counters. I use dice, so that's good. So now we're going to set up. So 1A of the Into the Pit, entering the mines. It says search the encounter deck for the East Gate and the Cave Torch. Put the East Gate in play as the active location. So I'm going to put the active location up here. And then it says, and have the first player attach Cave Torch to a hero of his choice. So I'm going to attach the Cave Torch to Galadriel. Okay. And then it says, set the first hall and the Bridge of Khazad-dûm out of play. Okay, so now it's really coming back to me. I remember that this is basically we're zipping through the mines of Moria. Now, the creators of the game, this was before Caleb was involved. he said in our Card Talk episode with him that he that the Khazad-dûm was designed before he came on board. Having said that, I remember this because I remember the East Gate and the first hall and the bridge. You have to quickly get through these locations before your board state builds up, because all these goblins from the encounter deck are going to come out and kill us. So then it says shuffle the encounter deck. So even though I did it beforehand, I'm going to do it again. Never hurts to randomize things. Okay, so then 1B. It says, when revealed, reveal one encounter card per player and add it to the staging area. Okay, so this was pre, reveal means to reveal and add. So I think the formal ruling is that while confusing, we're still revealing the encounter card and putting it in here. Okay, so now keep in mind, I don't have a test of will in my hand, so if this is cave-in or something crazy, I remember some of those ugly treacheries. So now the fortunate thing is playing solo, as I do mostly, these big, thick encounter decks from the first couple of cycles aren't so consistent. So for 60 cards to be in this deck, or whatever it is, Albert will look it up and he'll put it in his little bubble here. But it ends up not being that consistent. Later cycles that Caleb designed eventually, and Matt, when they designed, they really honed down to encounter decks to like 30 or 33 cards, so that even when you're playing solo, it continually hits and it continually does the things that it's supposed to do. It's one of the problems that I've been having playing Journey to Roscoval with this deck, is that it's just not. The encounter deck isn't consistent, so it's hard to find all the things that I need to do there. But anyways, so I need to make 7 progress. I have an active location already. These 2 things are out of play. It's round 1. I have 29 threat because I added all the threat values of my heroes, and I'm using Celeborn, Galadriel, and Thranduil. Okay, so reveal one encounter card. So it says each player must exhaust a character and discard the top card of his deck if able. Okay, and so if the printed cost of the discarded card is equal to or higher than the remaining hit points of the exhausted character, discard. So I'm going to exhaust Galadriel. Now, fortunately, I have very few 4-cost things in here. But it'll be a game over if this hits right now. Okay, so it's a 0 cost, so that's good. Okay, so that goes, so that doesn't do anything. Okay, so I'm going to put my discard pile here for that. Okay, so kind of makes me nervous. Okay. So let me just double check that I didn't screw this up. It says if the printed cost of this is equal to or higher than the remaining hit points, it is not. Okay. So, good. Okay, so now I get to draw a card. Okay. I got the Greenwood Archer, which is fine. Okay, but I am going to play the Steward of Gondor onto Celeborn. Now, I could play the Steward of Gondor onto Galadriel, but I think since I don't have Nenya, it makes more sense right now to put it onto Celeborn. Okay, so that means you exhaust it immediately, and he gets 2 more resources. So then I can play the Neath Guide and target Celeborn, and then I can play Galion, and so now I can do some pretty heavy questing right here at the beginning of the round. Okay, and maybe, just maybe, I can get through this. Okay, now it says for the East Gate that I cannot optionally engage enemies. An engagement check. Players cannot optionally engage enemy, and no engagement checks are made. So everything's going to stay in the staging area during this turn. So this is what I have to do. I have to kind of run through everything, questing as hard as I can to try to get through this. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm questing for 7. Okay, and then there's the Goblin Tunnels. It says it gains, after a goblin is revealed in the encounter deck, remove a progress token from the current quest card. Okay. So I didn't pull a goblin. There's 2, so this is 5 progress on the current quest. Okay. So, oh, I forgot to pay for the Nath guide. Okay, so that's good. I can't do my Galadriel trick. Okay, let's see. So I could use the Cave Torch to put 3 progress on that location. So I think I'm going to. Okay. Again, I want to get these locations out of the staging area as much as I can. So I'm gonna put 3. I'm gonna put 3 progress on this location. Okay. But it says exhaust, and so it says discard the top card of the encounter deck. If it's an enemy, put it into play. Okay, right? It's an enemy. Okay, so it's not an enemy, it's a treachery, so that just fizzles. So, okay, so far so good. Okay, so I'm going to increase my round, increase my threat, draw a card, ready. Okay. Then I'm going to play, let's see, 3, 1, and this goes up to 2. Okay, so now I'm going to exhaust Galadriel to draw a card. Okay, it's the Elven King, and that lowers my threat by 1. Okay, and then I'm going to play the Elven King on Thranduil. Okay. And now I'm going to play the Greenwood Archer for 2. And that readies this guy. Okay. So I have a Quicker Than Sight, which allows me to cancel a shadow effect. And I have Island Amid Perils, which allows me to reduce my threat. And then I have a Faint Voices, which allows me to cancel an attack. So I'm in pretty good shape in terms of what I can do with my deck here. Okay, so now I'm going to quest. So I'm going to quest for 3, 4, 5. Okay, questing for 5. And there's 2 in the staging area. So there's a orc. Okay, it says, when revealed, Goblin Follower engages the last player. So I am the last player. Okay, and it says, and so the Goblin Tunnels also say remove progress from the current quest. Now the current quest doesn't have any progress on it. So I made this. So this engages me. Okay, it doesn't make an attack, it just engages, which I'm okay with. Okay. So now I count up everything in the staging area, so that's 2. So I did 5. There's 2. So there's this. This is a victory, so this goes here, and it says, after it's explored, add the first hall to the staging area. So this is the first hall. Okay. And then I get 1 progress on the current quest. Okay. So now I'm going to travel to the first hall. Okay, so that makes me have to raise my threat by 3. Again, this first quest is important for you to just kind of plow through, no matter what. Okay. Okay. Now I can't engage. Oh, that was the hall. Okay, so this is in the victory display. Okay, so I could optionally engage, but it doesn't matter. I don't have any enemies. Okay, so now it's so now I need to do this. So using Thranduil's ability, here, let me deal this as shadow card. Using Thranduil's ability, I'm going to bring out the Sylvan Tracker for 3. Okay, and now I'm going to defend with Thranduil. I actually found out that the DU in Sindarin sounds like the DUI sounds like Dwi, so that's Thranduil. Okay, and so I've been kind of trying to look that up on my free time. So no shadow. So Thranduil doesn't take any damage. Okay, so now I'm going to ready him by using the Elven King, and that just what that does is allow me to bring Galion back into my hand. Okay, so now I'm going to do 2 because I just brought him out to play. Plus 3 is 5, plus another 1 is 6. So that kills this goblin. Okay, so the goblin goes by. No victory, no nothing. Okay, before the end of my turn, I've already used Galadriel's ability, so I can't do anything there. So I'm going to use the Cave Torch to put 3 more on this. Okay, and then reveal this. If it's an enemy, what does it say? Does it come into play? Added to the staging area. So this comes added to the staging area. Okay. Okay, so now we raise threat. Ready. Now I'm going to draw. Okay, I got a Test of Will. That's a great card to have in here because there's some nasty treacheries early on. Okay, so now I'm going to also exhaust her. Oh, the Cave Torch gets ready. So I'm going to exhaust her to lower my threat by 1 and to draw another card. And that's what I want. And then, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to spend the 1 here. Okay, I'll spend it from Celeborn's pool. I'm going to bring out Galion. Okay. So this is 2, 5, 6, 7. I'm questing for 7, and I'm up against 5. I have 7, up against 5. So now we reveal a card. So that's the Stairs of Nain. It says, first player must exhaust a character he controls to travel here, which isn't horrible, but now I'm breaking even on the quest, and that's rough. Okay, I probably should have exhausted the Cave Torch, but that's okay. Okay. So, patrol leader, I'm going to do this. I'm going to engage the patrol leader. Okay, I'm going to deal it. I'm going to deal it a shadow card. And now I'm going to play Feigned Voices to bring Galion back up into my hand. Okay, and so this fizzles. And so now I have some things to attack with. I guess I can do 1 damage to it. It says before patrol leader is dealt damage, so I'm going to attack it. It doesn't even matter. I can only do 3 damage to the whole thing. Okay, so before the end of my turn, I'm going to use the cave torch and explore this location. So this guy goes bye-bye. Okay. There was a goblin that was revealed, so that I forgot to remove that. Okay. Now, because of the cave torch, I get to reveal this. It's not an enemy, so that doesn't go here. So now I can ready and draw a card. Legolas, love to see that early game. The reason why I like to see that early game is because Legolas allows me to draw cards when I defeat things. So you're going to see me do some fun stuff here against this guy just to try to get this. But okay. So neither of these locations are dark. I'm up against 2, so I can definitely quest for 5. And then if I need to, I will add Galadriel's... Oh, wait. I'll bring out Galion, so I'm 7. Let me raise my threat. I forgot to do that. Raise my round. Okay. It seems like anytime I record these anyways, my threat is always off, so I have to get out of the habit of announcing what my threat is. But anyways. Okay. I can handle a lot of stuff. So I'm questing for 1, 2, 4, 7. And if I need to, I'll use Galadriel. Okay, so there's the Ziggle Mine Shaft. So it says, place 1 progress on Ziggle Mine Shaft by raising your threat by 1. Okay, so here's what I do. 7. So I'm going to commit Galadriel. Okay, this is also a dark location. Okay, so that means that 2 comes out here. Okay, put that in the victory. And then I actually did 2. There. Okay, so that's that. And then when this leaves play, it's explored, the Bridge of Khazad-dûm comes out. Okay. Okay, and it says, while it's the active location, players cannot play cards. Okay. Well. So I'm going to explore. I'm going to do this. That's a huge burden, but actually I'll wait to do that. I'm going to put the Ziggle Mine Shaft up there. It doesn't matter where the Ziggle Mine Shaft is, if it's in the staging area or an active location. It's just an action. And so I can use that. So, okay. Now I do this because I don't want to have to deal with this guy. Or, sorry, I want to be able to play cards. So, look, I'm going to do this. Okay, so I can still cancel a shadow effect if I need to. I'm going to defend with Thranduil. Okay, I will flip. Look, no shadow. So look, this guy does... So I get 1 damage on Thranduil. 1 damage. Okay, now I'm going to bring this guy out. Okay. And I'm going to ready Thranduil. So I'm bringing this guy out using Thranduil's combat action. Oh, I don't need to... I'm bringing this back. I want to bring this guy back into my hand. Okay. And then I'm going to pay for him using Celeborn. Okay. now, let's see. So I can do 4, 6, 7, which is enough to kill it. And it says discard the top card. It's an enemy, cancel that damage. It's not an enemy, so this guy dies. It's great. Okay, and because that guy dies, I get to draw a card. And I get another Feign Voices. Okay, now before the end of the turn, I'm going to use Cave Torch. And then I'm going to raise my threat by 2. Okay, to explore this location. So this guy goes bye-bye. But now I have to, because Cave Torch, and if it's an enemy, I get to add it to the staging area. It's not, so that's good. So I'm keeping everything in check, and if I need to, I can still use, my threat is fine. So here we go. So ready, resources, raise threat. Okay, so I get another Steward of Gondor. I take all the cards that I don't use or need, and I put them in the back of my hand. That way, they're just back there. Okay, so I'm going to play Galion. Quest for 2, 3, 4. Oh, I readied, and I readied him naturally, so I removed the threat. Okay, or the damage, so that's 4. I'm still doing 7. If I need to, I'll add Galadriel. Okay, these are my non-questers here. Okay, so that's 7. Okay. So it says I can't optionally engage that guy, which is a bummer if I didn't have 37 threat. I forgot about this guy. He's a Goblin Scout. Okay, but I have 37 threat, so it's fine. So I quested for 7. I'm going to add Nenya. I'm going to add Galadriel, because I want to be able to engage this guy. So I don't even want to use Galadriel's ability. I want to be able to pull him out. He's got 3 threat. So right now there's 8 in the staging area. I said 7, but there's 8 in the staging area. I committed for 7, so that's 11 total, 8. So I'd put 3 on the quest, so I'm up to 5 quest points. Okay, so now I'm going to travel to the Bridge of Khazad-dûm, and I can't optionally engage this guy, but I can definitely engage him. Okay, now I can't play cards, but I'm not necessarily worried about it. Okay, so I'll put my deck right down, okay, or my hand right down here. Okay, I'll defend with Thranduil. Okay, shadow card. He's got 1 defense, no shadow. Okay, Thranduil does not get any damage. So I'm going to use the Elven King to ready him by bringing Galion back into my hand. Galion can't do anything from round to round. It's only the first round he comes into play that he can do stuff, so might as well pull him back into my hand. Okay, and then I'm going to use Legolas to kill this guy. He has 0 defense and 2 hit points, so he's dead. Because I killed somebody, I get to draw a card, and I get another Test of Will. Okay, so great. So the Stairs of Nain, maybe they're 9, because like Dane, D-A-I-N, Dane Ironfoot is actually not Dane Ironfoot, he's Dine Ironfoot. So maybe that's the Stairs of 9. I don't know. Anyways, so now I'm gonna ready, raise threat, resources, draw. I get an Island Amid Perils, which is nice because my threat is getting really high, but I'm not necessarily worried about it. Okay, so I can't play anything though, so. Okay, so now I'm going to quest. So I'm going to quest for 1, 2, 5, and if I need to, I can commit Galadriel. Okay, which I would love. So let's do this. It's Cave In. Remove all progress from the current quest card in active location. Okay. So I remove all progress. That's not the worst. I can't cancel it because I can't play any cards. So that's fine. So I quested for 2, 5. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's that. So there's all 3 locations in the staging area. Okay, or in the staging area. That's all 3 unique locations out of this. I was able to get that. Now I'm also going to use Galadriel to commit to the quest to raise. So I'm going to add 4 to this. Okay, and then lastly, I'm going to use this travel to the Stairs of Nain. Now, in this action window, I'm going to play Island Amid Perils, and I'm going to pull Legolas back into my hand. By doing that, I lower my threat by 4. Okay, and now, even though I don't have anything to fight, I can still use a combat action to bring Legolas back out. And now he is out there. And now, one more time, just because I want to get the most out of it, I'm going to be totally whack, and I am going to play Island Amid. It doesn't say that I can't do it more than one time, so I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to bring Legolas back into my hand and lower my threat by 4 more. So I'm back down to 30 threat. Okay. So now I can play cards, I can do all the things that I need to do. Draw Tree People. That is a great card to have right now. Okay. So I am going to first of all, I'm going to play Galion. And then I'm going to play Tree People, but normally it would be nice to play Galion and then you can put it back out for free, but I'm going to put the Neath Guide, I'm going to bring the Neath Guide in because I don't want to have to exhaust Celeborn. Okay, so I'm going to bring the Neath Guide out, and plus I have enough resources to do all this stuff. So I get to draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to bring out Haldir. Haldir's the guy to bring out. And I was, look, I got all ranged except for the Minstrel, and I got all allies, so that's good. Okay, so now I have to shuffle these guys up. Now I'm going to play the Neath Guide for 2. Okay, so these 2 guys just came out into play. Okay, and I'm still able, I have 2 Tests of Will in my hand, so I'm able to cancel that. I have all sorts of stuff, so I think I'm in good shape. So this guy just came out too, so here I'm still questing for 6. I'm going to leave the Sylvan Tracker up, and then I'm going to also quest with Celeborn. I do not want to have to exhaust anybody. I don't know if it's in this particular quest. I didn't read through all the encounter cards, but I know that there's certain certain quests that punish you for having exhausted cards. So I'm just going to leave everybody up. So this is 3, 5, 7, 10. Okay, so we will. So it says after a goblin is revealed. Okay, so that's 2 basically. And there's 4 progress there. Okay. And now, so that's 4 more. So I just got through that quest. Okay, 2A, nothing but flavor text. It says the skeletons of dwarves and orcs lie undisturbed, but you have discovered no recent sign of the dwarven colony. The sound of scampering feet travels to your ears, and you move in that direction to investigate. There is a patrol of goblins marching in a loose formation through the shadows. Okay, so now, lots of text wall. When revealed, each player must search the encounter deck and discard pile for one enemy of his choice and add it to the staging area. One choice must be the patrol leader, if possible. Okay, so again, strategy. I'd rather take out something out of the deck than to go through the discard pile. It just makes a little more sense. So I'm going to go and get a patrol leader. Okay, so that's patrol leader. Okay, and then I have to shuffle the encounter deck. Okay, so it says after an enemy is revealed from the encounter deck, discard it instead of adding it to the staging area. Okay. Oh, I think I remember this. If there are no enemies in play, immediately advance to the next stage. Okay, so so I have two conditions to move on. So I can either beat this patrol leader, which I'm going to do this turn, or I can put 11 progress here. Okay, so I'm going to do this. This is one of the few times in the game where you can get through more than one quest card in kind of the same turn. Okay, so I'm going to engage. I have to engage this guy. Okay, I'm going to deal a shadow card. I am going to... Do I have Feign Voices? I do have Feign Voices. So I'm going to use Feign Voices to bring Galion back in my hand. So that means this guy doesn't attack. There's no shadow effect anyways. We're light on shadow effects. Okay, then I'm going to spend 4 to bring out Legolas. Okay, and now I have my full complement of people to do stuff. Now, before the end of the turn, before I attack it, I'm going to use Galadriel to lower my threat by 1 and draw a card. Okay, a Nath Guide, that's good. And so now I need to do 7 damage. Okay, so look. Here is I'm going to do it this way. Watch this. 3, 7. I'm going to attack this for 7. And it says discard. If it's an enemy, cancel it. It is an enemy, so cancel it. So that attack is canceled. Okay. So now I'm going to attack it again. So I'm going to do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I'm going to group attack it again. Okay, and if it's an enemy, it's not an enemy. So now that's dead. Okay. So now, since there's no enemies in the staging area, I'm able to move beyond this. Now this is where it's going to get wild, I think. And it says, heroes do not collect resources during the resource phase. That's it. Okie doke. I'm okay with that. I was expecting all the goblins that had been in the discard pile to come out or something crazy like that. Okay. I have plenty of resources. I have plenty of things to do stuff. So I'm going to exhaust the cave torch. Okay, to put 3 on this. Okay, so that means now cave torch, if it's an enemy, it comes into play. Nothing. And I like the thematics of that. You know, a torch brings enemies to you. So if there's an enemy that sees your torch, it's going to come over and explore. Okay, so now it's time. Okay, now I don't get resources, which is fine. Okay, I'm going to draw a card. I get another copy of Galion. That's wild, but... Okay, so now I'm going to pay 2 for this. Then I'm going to pay 0 for this. So these 2 just came out. Now I'm hoping then I can quest through everything. Okay, so these I'm going to leave. So I'm going to quest, let's see, Nate guy, and I'm targeting him. So this is 2, 4, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to do 12. So there's 1. Okay, there's 3. I did 12. So now I'm going to commit Nenya to the quest. Commit Nenya to the, or not commit her to the quest, but I'm going to add her willpower afterwards. So that gives me 16. There's 3, so that's 13. So that was into the pit. Fairly straightforward, but consider that a little gift from Card Talk here to see kind of how you play, some strategies maybe. I don't know if there's any strategies in there other than you have to really get through those first. You don't want anything to build up in that first that first round. So, yep. So there it is. Have a great day.
And if you're interested in finding this or any of our back episodes of Card Talk, feel free to search YouTube where you can find our flagship video episodes with the username Card Talk 2018. Or you can search the RSS feed cardtalk2018.libsyn.org for our extended audio versions of our podcast. Or you can find us on Facebook at Card Talk 2018. And if you have any questions for Grant or myself or for both of us, feel free to email us at cardtalk2018@gmail.com.